Yep. Alright, we're loaded it up into the game right now. Gonna be on New Bloody Rage. For again, once of you guys who don't know, it's a 2-player map made I think in what, late 2010 or late 2011. I'm not sure exactly. We got last year's the red Terran spawning up at the top right hand position, as the bottom left hand position as the yellow Terran. It's gonna be mined.
Will mine cheese again? That's what I want to know.
This map is very good for cheese. He might do. You know what I think he might do? He might do a floated factory into one of the side portions of the base.
Oh, that would be sick.
But you know what's interesting is that because of the vision update and the fact that you can see a lot bigger nowadays, maybe because you're more inclined to scout what you can't see, right? If you just naturally on your screen, if you can't see something with the bigger box, maybe people are gonna be able to scout more for proxies that get floated into your base or something.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It hasn't helped him scout so far, so.
This is true. This is true. I mean, let's consider this. One was a wall in, one was a proxy, okay?
So here's the thing, though. I figure if you're going to be going for the gasless fast expand, you might as well check every corner of the map through SCVs.
You have to. You're right.
And that's something that Last really hasn't been doing. He hasn't really been crossing his T's and dotting his I's, and that's something that he needs to do in this game. Otherwise, he's going to find himself in a very quick 3-0 against mine.
Absolutely. Blindor says in chat, Flash never got as far as carries on this map. That's true. He did lose to Stork by that proxy 3 game in the middle of the damn map, and I'm always pissed at Stork for that. But I thought Flash went to carries against Stork in one of the other matches on Bloody Rage. I might be wrong. I think he definitely went to carries in one game. I forget which one. Actually, I think he won that game against carriers.
I mean, it's hard to think of Flash losing a game, so. Looks like Les is going to be throwing down the gas this time. He's not going to go for the gasless expand. He's instead going to go for a little bit more of a standard factory opening, just to allow him to not die early on, maybe play a more middle-of-the-road build.
Yes, very good, Les. Congrats, you have adapted one game far too late, in my opinion. I mean, listen, if you get cheesed out 2 games in a row, you definitely, I feel like every time you cheese, you should just go for, a safer build. You're not even getting that far behind when you go for the one racks, with the one expand instead. You really aren't. And to take that risk, I think, obviously, in the high levels, there's a big difference between what we know what to do and what they know what to do. But I just think just go for the one. I like to go. I mean, I like to go, and I'm a very low level TVT. TVT is by far my worst matchup. But just go for the one vulture, pull all CVs off gas after you build the factory, and then just go into the fast command center and then build one vulture. And you're pretty safe, honestly, with the one vulture. You can use it to scout. You can deflect early aggression with it. It's very strong.
Yeah, very flexible as well. So if you want to go into that 2-fact variant, you can be more aggressive. Also, you could just go straight into the CC and expand. So that's why I like gas openings a lot more. It allows you to just be a little bit more flexible.
Oh my god, is mine lose SCV?
Oh, pretty good micro there from Last, but mine doing a good job of pulling the SCV off the line in time. So he's going to be perfectly fine there.
See, once again, mine going for that cheeky little 2 Marine forward off that forward racks and try to do a little bit of pressure. Unfortunately, this time Last did not go for that 1 rank FE. And yeah, there it is, the 1 vulture, and then probably going to build a machine shop behind it, and then start building tanks. Mine has got this exact same idea, mirrored builds this time, so we're going to settle into one of the longer TVT games at least. At least this game will most likely go longer than probably 12 to 15 minutes. Once these builders are seen.
That's the hope. You always hope that every TVT is an hour and a half long, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If this gets the 50 minutes, I'm probably just gonna go back to bed at least, and even if Last win.
No, you won't. You'll love it.
No, I'll stay. I'll go downstairs, grab a Red Bull.
If it were Flash, you would stay for the entire match, without any hesitation. You'd be like, "Oh, this is Flash. I'm gonna stay for the entire match." But because it's Last, you're like, "Oh, it's the least, the less good version of Flash." So.
Yeah. We're gonna see the builder divergent now. It's gonna be a starport from Last and a second factory here from Mind. Generally, the second factory is the safer of the 2 options because you go for a faster armory behind it and then get 2 Goliaths down, and you're pretty much able to deal with any kind of airplay. Even cloak races aren't gonna be doing that much. You get a fast academy as well behind it, get scans, and you're pretty much say, hey, I'm pretty set for basically the rest of the game. Point.
Yeah. But I think the important thing to know is because Last will have that later second fact, he will have a slightly smaller tank count going into the mid game, and that could spell, I always talk about TVT in terms of tank counts. Everything is about air control is important, but ultimately everything comes down to tank count. If you don't have the tank count, you can't really push back your opponent's tank line. You can't really take center map control. So it's one of those things where Last will be a little bit on the back foot unless he can get something done with this Wraith. Otherwise, he's going to find himself in a position where he's a little bit behind in tanks, and he's going to have to play a little bit safer as he starts to push out and take that third base.
Yep, well, the first Wraith is now seen by that barracks. The barracks is going to go down very, very quickly. So, Mine knows that the Wraiths are coming out right now. It definitely has to deal with how much damage he can do with his Wraith and how important this Wraith really is. Will he just use it for scout information, or will he be able to actually get a pick off a couple of SCVs? The armory is probably finished by now, so, pumping out those initial 2 Goliaths, putting 1 in each base, we'll be able to basically able to solve this Wraith no problem. And these couple of vultures early out on the map for Mine, going to try to do a little bit of harassment to Last, try to keep him back in his base. Can't move out too far, otherwise he can get run by.
Last actually defending with his Wraith, which I think is a little bit interesting. Instead of just going straight for the offensive, he felt that he needed to stay behind and defend against those vultures, and that may have actually put him a little bit behind in terms of getting a little bit of economic damage, forcing out some APM from Mine.
Oh, Mine not able to get that last Goliath shot onto that Wraith. The Wraith lives with 14 HP, and he actually almost caught it in the main base. He knew exactly where it was going, had the 2 Goliaths and 2 Marines already positioned there. Unfortunately, it would take it down, so that Wraith will live for a little longer. But otherwise, now, yeah, he's going to have to rebuild his barracks because he's going to look to make a couple more factories. Meanwhile, Last has now got that mini factory explosion up to 3 now, and getting machine shop on the second one. So definitely want to ramp up that production. That starport not being really used too much. I think it's got control tower on it. If I look at the minimap correctly, it might be going to dropship play now.
Yeah, quite possibly. We may see a couple drops. Mind is pretty prepared for most airplay though with these early Goliaths. As long as he's just making sure that his corners are scouted out, he's going to be in a decent spot. But he's doing a really great job of just getting tons of vision out on the map with these vultures and the spider mines. Look at that, there's just spider mines all across the middle of the map, and it's going to be a while before Last can actually push out across there. But it looks like Last is just going to take the fast third base. He's not really worried about going for any sort of push right now.
Yeah, both players once again pretty mirrored, at least in terms of when they take their bases. Mine just now throwing down his command center a tad bit later than Last, but it's not really going to make a difference in terms of the economy. Last immediately jumping up to those 3 machine shops, even while having the command tower on, or control tower on that starport. So I mean, yeah, he's got a decent amount of gas to work with, but we'll definitely have to see if he's able to actually continue production. All these clearing out mines here at the southern portion of the map, and now Mine's going to be forced to drag his vultures over there and put down some more mines to reinforce that.
Yeah, that can be annoying replacing all of those mines, but at the same time, that's just the life of a vulture. Just run out, place a bunch of mines, then go suicide somewhere, right?
Yep, because the vultures are free, as we all know. We only build up for the mines. Just kidding. At least in TVP, they're definitely useful. But oh, here comes the 2 siege tanks here in the middle of the map from Last. Gonna get picked off. Really nicely done here from Mine. Doesn't lose a single tank there. Just caught out of position. Not supported by any of the vultures there. I'm not actually sure why they're sieged up. They should have at least been sieged up on the high ground. Instead, just pushed down to the low ground right next to that 6 o'clock base and just sieged up. Not really smart there from Last. And I mean, he's got a supply lead, but definitely that 2 tanks in the early game when he didn't go for the faster second factory, definitely not what you want.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just supposed to be like a fake, like he was just trying to position very aggressively with those tanks to look like he had actually a lot more behind that, but Mine just reading his opponent really well, saying, oh, you've only got 2 tanks there, I'll just go kill it. And Mine's going to be taking a pretty nice lead. I love that Last has actually kept this Wraith alive, and he's going to continue to scout, get a secondary scout in his opponent's main base without actually using any scans. It's going to be very important for the tank wars that are going to be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be one of the definitely one of the big benefits of having that earlier starport is that you don't have to use as many scans as your opponent will. Right now we see Mine with up to 4 factories pumping out more vultures than anything, I think, and that's, they serve as, again, twofold reason is that they're able to kind of deal with these siege tank lines. As we see the vultures coming up here, will they be able to lay down some good spider mines here on top of these tanks? Only 1 spider mine, but here comes the unsiege, and no, they will not be able to get anything done. Really had them not staggered correctly, unfortunately. So Last good micro is going to be able to get them done. And we're gonna have to see how good these siege tank cores are.
Yeah, at the same time, I feel like Last did take a bunch of free damage on those tanks. He didn't really have to do it. Again, he's playing very aggressively with this tank line with minimal support, only a Wraith there besides the Siege tank. So it's a little bit questionable, but so far it's holding Mind back, and Mind is just is content with just playing safe and holding this line down, kind of a vertical, invisible line through the center of the map.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is kind of where their battle line will be placed, and maybe we'll see if basically both players are going to try to fight over those 12 and the 6 o'clock position. That's really where the point of contention is going to be. First drop shit out now for last, as well as taking a fourth base behind this, and Mine's definitely have to look to take another fourth base behind this himself. He's actually got a control tower up and got cloak researching right now as well, so he's got a second starport here, building at his third base. So he's going to go for that mini air transition. Oh, he's got a nice drop here, vultures into the main base of last. We didn't see this on the minimap. Really well done. A couple of mines are getting placed. They're going to kill off one of the tanks that just pops out and getting a pretty good amount of economic damage here.
Yeah, that's actually pretty brutal, and also just slows down the building of this last factory for quite a bit.
Oh, another tank going down to those spider mines, and other tanks getting heavily damaged by them. Unfortunately, didn't lose third tank. But this is also going to show that, you know, last has that those drop ships out now, and so that, you know, Mine definitely has to be very careful of it. Another little bit of a mini siege tank we're going outside here, outside of this potential fourth base for Mine. But here we go. Mine's going to push in with a couple of these siege tanks here. Vulture's trying to get on top of them and put down some spider mines. He'll be able to clean up the low ground tanks, but there's still 3 tanks on the high ground for last.
Yeah, so he should be able to hold this right now. By the way, could you just slow down on the commentary just a little bit, because you still are a slight bit ahead of me.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah. So we actually see quite a few dropships coming in. Are we going to be going back into dropship TVT? We haven't seen this in a while.
It's very possible. I mean, well, this time we got the raid support behind it, and this is what's been more of the common norm these days, is that you want to get that air support besides just dropships, because you really want your army to be mobile but also supported by those raids. But yeah, here comes another potential drop here from Mine. We're gonna see how much damage goes down this time, but there are now turrets established for both these players, as well as the fact that Last is taking that 6 o'clock position, being very confident, taking a whole base ahead of Mine right now.
Yeah, this is pretty cool seeing this overall, but the dropships look like they have found a small hole in the defenses, but Last is right behind with his own dropship, so he's going to be able to drop on top of this if Mine does decide to drop, but actually splits his dropships. He's going to try to put pressure all over the map, and is Last going to be in trouble? He's going to take a lot of economic damage from these splits, I think.
Yeah, wow, his drop into the main is going to be successful. His drop into the bottom right-hand base is also going to be pretty successful itself. And it's so funny just seeing dropships just run around each other, knowing that both players have a huge amount of units inside of them. They can't really do anything. And I think it's one of the reasons why you need to have those raids out with your dropship, is in case they run around with like the dropship chases, you can actually pick off their dropships while they can't really touch yours. So good amount of economic damage, mostly just vultures in those dropships. And but here comes Mine, gonna look for a push down here at the 6 o'clock position.
Yeah, looks like he's definitely going to be getting it. There's not really anything in position unless the dropships can get on top of this, but even then, it's going to be difficult for Last to actually get there in time. He's racing down there right now. He's going to try to get in position, but he may have to just lift off this base and forfeit it for now.
Yeah, and he is going to have to be forced to lift this 6 o'clock position, but he's going to try to go for the counterattack here now onto this tank line. There's not really that many supporting units, and this is the problem with Mine right now, is that he doesn't have enough supporting units behind his pushes, and this is one of the reasons why I feel like, you know, having that extra base right now is so crucial, and that's what Last has.
Yeah, the Wraiths are going to come here and be able to pick off most of Last dropships, so he is going to lose quite a bit there, but luckily there were some Goliaths in position, so that's going to be pushed back for now, and Last is going to try to reestablish the 6 o'clock base, but I wonder if he's maybe putting a little bit too many resources into this, because now it opens up that area on the top side of the map for Mine to go for drops. He could get in position to get siege down that natural like we were talking about earlier. But the Wraiths are going to be able to pick off these tanks on the high ground for right now.
Yeah, doing a very good job picking off 2 right in the beginning. And yeah, you're right. You know, he is starting to bleed out a little bit of resources. And this is kind of an interesting game that we're having right now, is when you have the map split in this sort of a fashion, each of these bases, the 12 and the 6, serve as a staging point for any potential dropship play or air play going into each other's mains or naturals. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now from the 6 o'clock position. Last is being able to siege down a couple of these missile turrets that were in position to kind of deflect drops. And we'll see if mine goes for the same thing on the other side of the map. That'll be what's really important here.
Last actually smelling out the potential aggression on the top side of the map. He's going to send his reinforcements up here right away. And we're going to have a bit of a tank war right here, but I think Last should come out ahead. He's got a lot of tanks here.
Yeah, it comes out ahead easily, unfortunately, for Mind, but Mind's gonna have to reinforce a little bit. And this is the problem, is that Last has that, again, had the extra base running for quite a bit longer, and just really needed to be able to keep up in supply, and he really hasn't been able to do that. He's about 20 supply behind right now comparatively. Actually, no, 40 supply down. I think my mistake. Last is at 180 right now. Mine was just now hit 150. So having the extra base has served Last so well right now, and one of the reasons why Mine has felt like he's so spread out in this map.
Yeah, Mind just hasn't really been able to find an opening other than that very initial poke where he killed those 2 tanks for free. Since then, he's had a really hard time finding a place to actually break Last, and Last is slowly reinforcing all of his weak points and figuring out where Mine is going to push next. So, very well played by Last overall, and he's actually going to be saturating the 6 o'clock base now and sieging up the 12 o'clock. So he's doing really well for himself at this point in time.
Yeah, I think what Mind really needs right now, and this is something that Mind does not do very often, is he needs a big pincer attack. And we see these pincer attacks come out from the top Terrans like Last, Flash, and C all the times when they go for these huge pushes with dropships in the front and then another big tank force from the side is really when they're able to break through these. But at this point, there's just way too many tanks out for Last. Again, he's almost maxed out right now, and he's just going to be able to easily roll over all of these tanks here from Mind.
Yeah, Last going for the drop now on top of these tanks. I'm not sure that's actually going to do much, but it does allow him to move in with his units and get a nice siege up. But even with the Wraiths, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I'm lagging. My stream is lagging, unfortunately. But we're back into the game now. And it looks like Last was pushed back there for now, but Mind is still in a precarious spot where if he loses too much ground, he's going to find himself in a quickly losing battle.
Yeah, using a lot of vultures to kind of buffer the tanks, stall, and buy a little bit of time right now. Obviously, mineral is not the most important thing in TVT, but even then, you're still, even with all that big buffer from, I think, at least like 10 vultures, something like that, he just was unable to really be able to hold off the push super well. Tanks now, again, once again, getting in position now for Last. He's just continuously inching forward bit by bit, and once he gets a little bit forward, he's going to be able to siege down that 12 o'clock base.
Those SCVs.
Oh my god, big SCV pull here. I'm not sure exactly why he did that. Maybe he was a little too overconfident with his play, being able to push it back. I thought he was going to use those SCVs to kind of buffer for those tanks as they unsieged and push forward, but he didn't really do that.
Maybe
he's lost a couple SCV.
Maybe he was doing something weird where he was pulling the SCVs to tank the shots so he could set up siege tanks on that low ground in his main. Either way, it's a very interesting play. I'm not sure if it was that worth it.
Oh man, look at this bottom right base. 4 starports full of raids coming out. And this is Last trademark, I think, in this matchup, is that he's so well known for just going for these massive amount of raids with a switch like this, and it's just so crucial when he goes for it, because it sets your opponent so far behind if they're not making enough Goliaths out. With the mobility, and Last is just playing so confident right now. He's even got a command center building on the low ground of his main, getting ready to be floated up to that 6 o'clock, the 12 o'clock position once he's able to take control of that.
Yeah, very confident. Here comes the first raids pushing out right now, and they're going to go ahead and try to break this 12 o'clock base so that he can get into there. Snipes the first 2 tanks. He's going to try to snipe this missile turret as well, and then get out of there. See if he can slowly push back this line. But, huge drop coming in.
Yeah, huge drop coming in from the south portion of the 6 o'clock position here. Mine trying to get past. Actually, just gonna, evade it entirely. Gonna go right after that bottom right base with this massive drop here. And there's actually a couple raids here. Maybe they'll be able to deflect a couple of dropships, but at the same time, they're Last desperately trying to move forces back here. Not really in time. Here comes a siege up. The SCVs need to get pulled and do some damage at least. Splash damage might be able to do a little bit of damage to Mine's own units right now, but the dropships serving as the vision buffer right now. At the same time, here comes Last. They're trying to push across the map here, counterattack at his top left base as well as the 6 o'clock base. He might actually just lose 2 bases for the price of 1.
Yeah, Mind is doing a pretty decent job of getting in position, but this might end up just being a trade overall. We'll have to see. There are quite a few rates up in the air still for last, and he is almost in range of the CC. So this could just be a long drawn-out siege. I'm not sure if he actually is going to be able to kill this off. Last, surprisingly, leaving that 12 o'clock base untouched for right now, but he looks like he's going to be sending in units now.
Yeah, it looks like he will be. He's gonna start putting up those tanks and rates, and yeah, this 12 o'clock, no defenses here. One tank is gonna be all that she wrote for that base. But in terms of, oh no, mine losing all those drops, just flying over those missile turrets. Oh no.
Not good at all.
Oh man, that's definitely not good. So I mean, so the interesting thing is, Last just lost all of his infrastructure for rates, so he's not gonna be able to make any more after this, basically, unless he's gonna, he's gonna want to remake.
We got a big drop coming in here at the top side to try to break this tank line. It looks like he will be able to do it and reestablish this top left-hand base. Maybe even save that 12 o'clock base if he moves over into that position quickly enough.
Yeah, so mine with the dropships has doing a really good job of trying to catch up now.
Yeah, Last is trying to mobilize his units, get in position to take that 12 o'clock base. Will mine be able to get there in time, or will he actually be thwarted? Big drop coming in on the high ground. Will he actually be able to hold this area?
Yeah, Last has got his tank sieged up in a really awkward position right now, kind of on top of the ramp, which means that his reinforcements won't be able to move up here. The dropship play from mine has really what's been able to save him this game. Last has not been playing as mobile. Yes, he's got those rates out, but they haven't really been doing that much. And that's the difference here with these dropships. Oh my god, mine losing a couple of these units here at the low ground, but actually gonna be able to get on top of these tanks here. Oh, Ray's gonna be able to easily clean this up now. But Last trying to reestablish that 12 o'clock for himself, but unfortunately he's not gonna be able to do it. Mine's gonna pick off that command center even and be able to save this 12 o'clock. Really well done by mine.
Yeah, we thought this would be a really horrible spot for mine, but he's actually done a really good job of coming back and reestablishing these bases, and even dealing with this next push from Last. So mine actually doing a pretty fantastic job of staying in this game, all things considered.
Yeah, and Last is actually behind by 30 supply now. How the tables have turned. Obviously, how much supply of that is in dropships, we have yet to figure out. Last now going to be long distance mining from the middle of the map. I think there's a spider mine from mine that's going to actually see that. Maybe he'll consider trying to establish the middle base.
Oh no, the SCVs are too close to the 12 o'clock. They were actually starting to run down to that base.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Oh,
he can't even long distance mine. This is the worst, man.
Yeah. So, what's interesting is because of the fact that mine has such long-term longevity from those dropships, he's got those units down there at the bottom right-hand position. He's got units spread out across the map. When he wants to go for that 6 o'clock position from Last, he's going to be able to go for a massive pincer attack, and that's really what's going to be important here. Last now coming up here to try to, once again, contest his 12 o'clock base. But again, with these high ground tanks, it's going to be so difficult with that mischance.
Yeah, it's so hard to actually get up this ramp once an established force is in position, and mine even coming in with this flank now, so even while Last is trying to push up here, he's going to get completely crushed, and this looks like the end of Last's standing army.
Yeah, this is literally it. I think Last's only base now, is the 6 o'clock. That's where all of his units are, essentially. Mine has just turned this game around so well. I didn't see where this all came from. Big Mind Drag into all those tanks. The tanks are going to be super low now, and look at this. Mine is still got a ton of units back at home right now. Last, I don't even see where his rally point is at this point. He just doesn't have the units to contend with it. 50 supply down now. I just don't see how this game went all so wrong for him. He's trying to still long distance mine from the middle, I guess, and it's just not working out for him. Mine is now fully established as 12 o'clock. It's not going to be able to contest it at all anymore from Last. He's going to go for a desperate hurrah here with his SCV pull.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. He might be able to pick up a couple. That was beautiful. But all these tanks super low, so even just like one good tank shot is going to be able to pick off that clump of tanks up on the top.
Yep, and that's going to be literally it, I think. I don't see how Last come back in this game at this point. Just doesn't have enough mining contend with mine. And it's so ironic that mine was so behind on bases that he's going to have bases to mine still, right? Last took off his bases super early, and he just hasn't been able to use his units effectively. Mine has been. So, you take bases later, you're able to mine for them for longer into the game. And Last is trying desperately to hold this off, but mine has just got way too many units at this point, way too much mining. He's got way too many tanks now, and another good tank barrage onto Last tanks, and now Last just has like 3 tanks left at this point.
Yeah, almost nothing. Mine's supply did drop there for a little bit, but he's going slowly right back up to max, and he's going to be in a solid position to push down Last, maybe kill off this 6 o'clock base before he goes for the throat. Once he kills off the 6 o'clock base, that's it for Last. Last will have no more resources. He won't have any more standing units, and it would be pretty much over. But he's just trying to get in position, prevent Last from pushing out in the middle map, doing anything else, and cleaning up all of Last units. GGG incoming very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, he just lost all of his tanks to that mobile Goliath army right there. And yep, all those tanks going down. All the SCVs are going to go down now as well with two of these Goliaths. Another, yeah, CC trying to float over to that middle base. But Last just doesn't know what he's doing anymore. I think he just lost way too much. The raid switch just did not go very well. I think that's where all of his supply went. And
yeah, well, it's kind of ironic because, you know, he put all those starports down in the bottom right where he thought they would be 100% safe, but mine just flying all of his dropships directly over and killing it off. So hilarious that dropship.
I just think that the raids. Yeah, I just think that the raids didn't do enough damage. That was the issue. Is that, you know, you build like what, 5 starports. You try to use all. He built double armor as well. You know, he was going all in on those air units, trying to get armor and weapons upgrade all at the same time, and he just didn't do anything.
He's going for a last-ditch attempt to try to take control of the center. Looks like he may try to expand to the center before giving up, but once these last couple tanks fall, I'm not sure what else he's going to have behind it. He's dipping down to 85 supply, almost nothing left for him, almost no tanks on the map, and looks like he's not going to give up. He's going to go for the fantasy GG timing. There it is. There's the GG. Mine taking a 3-0.
3-0. I thought Last was gonna have this, but no, Mine really showed what he's made of, and what a fantastic series played by Mine. You gotta say, he outsmarted and outplayed Last. You know, in the macro game, he just really knew what to do.